Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Points of Articulation. My name's Dave and if you're new to the channel, welcome. It's day 8 of the 12 days of Star Wars. So today we're taking a look at the Hallmark Star Wars Slave 1 Starfighter Keepsake Ornament released in 2002. Now this particular version of the Slave 1 made its first on-screen appearance in Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. So we all know Slave 1 was first seen in The Empire Strikes Back. However, in the prequels, this was not Boba Fett's ship, it was his father's Jango Fett. And the real name of the Slave 1 is the Firespray class patrol ship. Now, unlike most of the ornaments I review, which are lightweight and plastic, this one you see before you is die-cast and it is heavy. I would love to see the Christmas tree that can hold this bad boy up, because it's like a rock. Now, for the size of this vessel, we're looking at 4.5 inches tall, which is actually really cool. So you should all know the drill by now. We're going to take a quick look at the box, the mold, the paint, hang this baby from a tree or try to, and then we'll be done. So let's get moving. Alright, let's take a quick look at the box. We can see a Hallmark Keepsake Ornament, nice image of the vessel, Star Wars, Slave 1 Starfighter, from Star Wars Attack of the Clones. Pretty cool. On this side, we have $18.95 for USA currency, and $25.95 for Canadian currency. Pretty cool. I love the price tags on here. On the top, we have the Hallmark crown. On the other side, blank. And on the back, we do have a nice write-up, so if you'd like to pause the video and read it, go right ahead and continue when you're done. And then looking at the bottom, it does say die-cast metal, dated 2002. And on the bottom, we do have our copyright crap. Pretty cool. So that's enough of the box, so now let's open this bad boy up and see that beautiful ship. And here we have the Slave 1 out of the box, and this is a great ornament. You can see all the great details, beautiful paint scheme, and it is heavy. Listen to that. It's a brick! But I'm jumping ahead of myself. Like in all my ornament reviews, I will go over the major sections of the vehicle, and then we'll get nice and close to see all the fine details. So up first, we have our cockpit, our wings. Down here, we have our blaster cannons, which are double-barreled. Pretty cool. Down here, we have our entryway. And then we also have our entry ramp. And then turning the ship around, look at this engine section. This is beautiful, and of course, we have copyright crap on the side. And then, of course, scattered throughout the whole ship is hidden missiles, seismic charges, and laser cannons. All in all, so far a great-looking ship. So now let's get a closer look. Alright, starting our closer look at the Slave 1, I wanted to begin with the top of the cockpit here. You can see some nice panel lines, 2 recesses, but check this out. On the left and right hand side, you can see these little ridges. That's awesome. Coming down, we have our cockpit window, very smooth. But on the sides, check this out. Lines, modules, big recesses, everything's there, and I love it. It's looking great. The same for this side. Nice. In the interior, we do have some molding in there. Nice touch. Same for the other side. Beautiful. Now moving to the front of the vessel, you can see some nice panel lines, recesses, and molded sections. Looking amazing. I love the detail on this ship. Beautiful. And at the bottom of that, look at that. That is great stuff. Nice. On the sides of the ship and the cargo hold, look at all the paneling and molding. This is beautiful. I love that grate right there. Great stuff. This section too. Beautiful. And the hoses leading to the blaster cannons, spot on. And the blaster cannons themselves look really good. We have 2 little recesses here, 2 barrels. That is great. Now these don't move at all, so you're not going to get any play with them. This is just a display piece. Now looking underneath, we can see all this beautiful detail in there. Look at that. Magnificent stuff here. And then we have our entry in the back. Nice. Now moving on to the wings, look at all the negative space here. You can see right through in different areas. This is fantastic stuff. And just look at all the little details throughout. Very nice, very beautiful. I think this came out great. For the bottom, you can see some nice detailing coming around here. Beautiful stuff. On the side, we have a nice little design there. And you can see how it overhangs, just like in the film. And the back, again, nicely done. Then the same can be said about the other side as well. They are identical. Just very nice. I love these, especially this section. Anything with a bunch of lines close together, I really like it. And then moving down, you can see all these little sections here, pipes. Nice. And again, we have that nice little design at the front. And then the underneath, even though it does have nice molding, it does seem kind of blah. Alright, moving on from the wind to the skirt section, we can see some nice molded sections, a little hair underneath the paint there. Then we have some nice panel lines. Moving on down to the entry ramp. Nicely molded. See, it goes all the way up there. Beautiful. And I gotta say, it's not just flat. We do have some raised sections. Nice grate there. More panel lines. Beautiful. Now to the top of the ship. Again, more panel lines. Some molded sections, which look great. All in all, beautiful. And you can't forget our nice ornament loop at the top. So now let's check out the engine section. Now checking out the engine section, we'll begin with the bottom and work our way up. You can see that around the rim, we do have nice panel lines. So that's nice. Copyright correct. Now moving up from the bottom, look at all this. Recessed, raised sections, molding, everything's there. And it looks fantastic. This is great. Probably my favorite part of the ship, detail-wise. I always liked Slave 1 as a kid, but I love the different models they made throughout the years. The detail on the back of this one is by far one of the coolest, I will admit that. Here we have our engines, which are recessed. Pretty nice. You can see some detail in there. Awesome. Moving on up. Here we have our wings. Nice right here. Here we have another engine, and look at that. On the interior, there's molding in there. Nice little surprise there. Beautiful stuff right here. Now moving up, we have that nice circle. Nice design, I love that. And around the rim, just like the bottom, there is panel lines, which is great. Ornament loop. Beautiful ship. So that does it for the mold. This is a great looking ornament. So now let's check out the paint. Now looking at the paint scheme of the Slave 1, this vehicle features 12 different colors, believe it or not, and it is just layers upon layers. So let's get started. First of all, we have our cockpit, which is a nice glossy black, which seems to have a yellow airbrush on it. Regardless, very unique, very cool. Then we have a nice gray for the main color of the ship. And I like it. And it does have a little, I would say, dark gray dry brushing around the sides. Pretty cool. Speaking of dark gray, we do have some dark gray painted along the ship. And that looks awesome. On top of that is a nice light gray, dry brushed on there. Looking cool. Next we have forest green for the sides. And coming down the center. And on top of that, seems to be a very light blue dry brush. Just dabbed all over the place. Now besides that green, we also have olive green for the sides and underneath near the entry ramp. Pretty cool. And on top of that, we have that light blue and also forest green dabs all over the place. So pretty sharp. Now looking under here real quick, we can see that nice light gray and also the dark gray with all the rubs on there. Pretty awesome. Now the next color we have is a copper color next to the wings. Looking good. And then we have yellow on the wings and all over the ship, and it looks fantastic. I think it came out great. Nicely done. And the last color we have in the front of the vessel is this beautiful blue. I love the shade here. And on top of that is dark gray and a light blue. And you can see all the detail on there. Fantastic job. All in all, a great looking ship so far. So when we turn this over, we have our light gray. And I wouldn't say it's a black wash, but there is dry brushing all around here. And I want to get a nice close-up in a couple seconds, and you can see all the brush strokes. And that's all over the mechanisms here, and it really just highlights the detail, and I like that quite a bit. Then we also have dark gray around the engines. Yellow for all the engines inside the recesses. And then we have black around the top engine here. All in all, a fantastically painted vessel. So let's get a quick close-up before we hang this bad boy on the tree. And here we have the Slave 1, a little close-up, and you can see all the dry brushing on here, and it just looks amazing. I like when it's different colors, like on the green here. Beautiful stuff. Now again, you can see the brush strokes, so that's awesome. But on the back of the ship, you can see how it's basically just brushed on there. You can see the paint strokes all over the sides here. Pretty nuts. Now, one thing I forgot to mention is besides the black here, there is also black for the copyright crap. 2 black dots on the top of the ship. And of course, our blaster cannons are painted black as well. And they look great. So that does it for all the mold and the paint on the Slave 1 ornament. So now let's hang this baby from a tree. Now to hang your Slave 1, you're going to need an ornament hook. Slide it through the loop like so. Bend it so it doesn't fall off. Now my tree is not strong enough to hold up the Slave 1 ornament because it's so heavy. So I had to modify the branches a little bit. But if your tree is strong, you hang your ornament just like so. And then you're good to go. And that's day 8 of the 12 days of Star Wars. Today we looked at the Hallmark Star Wars Slave 1 Starfighter Keepsake Ornament released in 2002. Again, for the size of this vessel, it's 4.5 inches tall, which is actually really nice. Now, as a kid, I loved Slave 1. I had the Micro Machines and also the Shadows of the Empire Power of the Force version, which I am trying to reacquire, but it can be very pricey at times. But that was my favorite ship growing up besides a Snowspeeder to play with. Great fun. But when it comes to this Hallmark ornament, is it worth it? First of all, looking at the mold, this is impressive as hell. Not only do we have panel lines, but we have molding, recesses, everything's there that should be. The engine section looks amazing, and it's all die cast for the most part. This ornament is very heavy, which could be a pro or a con depending on how you want to display it, or if you have a real or fake tree. Now moving on to the paint, this has 12 different colors, and I love the detail on here. Now, if you're looking to buy this, I would recommend Amazon or eBay. Believe it or not, I got this particular ornament in box for $9.99 with shipping included, which, in my opinion, is a steal. So go on eBay, check it out. Maybe you could get one as cheap as I did. So that's everything I have to say today about this awesome looking ship. I hope you enjoyed my review. If you did, hit that like button. And if you'd like to see new reviews every Thursday, subscribe. Again, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And I hope to see you tomorrow for another Star Wars Hallmark review. Bye, everybody.